Aphrodite, I ask that you grant me a boon to make a video that the people will love. Dionysus, I ask that you grant me a blessing to have the charm needed to entertain the masses. And Hermes, I ask upon thee to grant me the expediency required to create and get this video out on time. Do this for me, and I shall carve your names into the annals of YouTube history. In the name of Hades, I accept these blessings of Olympus. So, Hades is a game that really flew under my radar, and still to this point, I really haven't seen too many people talking about this game. I've seen the odd review here and there, but it's not being talked about as much as I think it should be for as good as this game is. But I picked this game up about 3 weeks ago, and haven't really wanted to put it down since. And when I was writing the review for this game, I just kept writing, oh, this is a pro, this is a good pro, this is something that's good about the game, yeah, this is a good pro. And then when it came to the cons, I had a really hard time coming up with cons about this game. So, this is less of a should you buy Hades, and more why you should buy Hades right now and play it this very moment. From the top, we have to talk about how good this game looks. Supergiant games normally look phenomenal. Things like Transistor, Pyre, and Bastion all look really good. But they have outdone themselves this time with this comic book style come to life. The solid black block shadows and incredibly vibrant colours just look stunning. And the music, oh my great many gods, the music is amazing. It's like, at first, it's trying to recreate heavy rock music but with the instruments of ancient Greece. And then about halfway through each of the tracks, it switches into actual heavy rock-like music that Sisyphus himself would listen to while rolling his rock up a very, very tall hill. And at some point, I think there's a theremin in there, and it works. But okay, it looks great, and the music is great. But how does it play? What even is Hades? I've not talked about it to this point. Well, it's a roguelike game, based on, as you may have guessed, Greek mythology, where you play as Zagreus, the son of Hades. And Zagreus is tired of his dad's shit, so he wants out of hell, and he wants to find his mother. So that's what you have to do. Try to break out of the multiple layers of hell using Greek weapons of the times, like the sword, the spear, and my personal favourite Greek armament, the heavy assault rifle that shoots lasers and fires bombs. That's a real weapon that you can use. And the setup for being able to retry escaping over and over each time you die, as you tend to do in these roguelike games, is really very simple. You are the son of a god, and are therefore immortal. Every time you die, you just get sent home, while Hades sits and laughs at you, telling that escape is impossible, that you are bound to this realm. Nyx offers you aid through the power of the Mirror of Darkness. You collect darkness during your runs and use it to power yourself up, gaining things like more lives, better chances at better boons, and plenty of other power-ups that are unlocked using keys that you also find throughout your runs. So how does it actually play? It is incredibly tight, and really quite simple. You have your move stick and then 4 main buttons: attack, special, cast, and dodge. You can use any of these things at any time during combat. Your dodge or your attack might interrupt, say, your special sword swipe, but there's nothing that stops you from doing that. No animation that you get locked into. And so everything during the combat feels so buttery smooth and responsive. It's amazing. But then, on top of that, the gods of Olympus themselves grant you boons. Each of these boons relate somewhat to each of the gods' domains. Say, Zeus is all about lightning bolts, and Aphrodite makes your enemies weak at the knees, while Dionysus gives your enemies a terrible hangover. There are so many boons and combinations, which, on the one hand, is amazing. So many ways to change things up that you can utterly break the game. Or, because there's so many boons with so many different effects, you can very occasionally get screwed over and have nothing super great. But that gets resolved by the fact that this game is roguelike, and if you die 5 minutes in because you haven't got anything great, you just start again. New boons, new weapons, new everything, if you really want to. So now I really want to talk about the story of this game, but I don't want to spoil anything. It's such a good plot, a good story, It's a great plot that's constantly developing over multiple runs, and it doesn't stop when you do manage to break free. There's so much story there, and it makes you want to go again and again. It's so compelling. And even then, when you think the story is finished, there's even more story. For a roguelike, this amount of story is unheard of. You can take the story timer counter thing down. I didn't say that many times. Normally in roguelikes, the plot is just a way to have the story be the setting for the gameplay, and that's kind of just it. Whereas here, the story is the reason for the gameplay. You play more because you want to hear more. And it sucks that I can't really talk about it without spoiling it, because it's so good and it's so deserving of being talked about, but I don't want to spoil it. It's just something that you'll have to see for yourself. But something that I can talk about without spoiling anything is the great, vast, immense quantity of voice acting that's in this game. Almost everything in this game is voice acted. Every character, every interaction that you have. There's a couple things, like menus and the little sprites. The shades within the halls of Hades, they don't have voices. But that's it. Everything else, every god, every interaction with every other main character. There's so much. And you'll almost never hear the same line twice. You'll almost always have a new line. Speak to the same god for the 30th time. They'll still give you a different voice line. It's phenomenal. You still get new voice lines from your father when you constantly keep dying. They react to everything that you have. Find a new weapon, start using it, the gods are going to comment on that. Die to a new enemy, and Hypnos is going to say, "Oh my god, how did you die to that, you buffoon?" It's amazing how much work has gone into these voice lines. Though I guess it helps having your voice actors be the developers for the game. So, a great story, a great reason to keep playing through the game, a great art style and a great soundtrack, and plenty of other things that I haven't talked about because that would spoil the surprise. My question to you is, why should you not go out and buy this game right now, barring that you don't have enough for it? That's a fair reason. Other than that, if you can afford this game and you're looking for a new game to play, you'll get Hades. It's really good. I don't do ratings on my reviews because I think they're kind of arbitrary. But if I had to rate this game out of 10, I would give it a 20 out of 10. But that's it for this video. If you've liked it, don't forget to like it, and if you want to see whenever I upload a new video, well, there's a subscribe button down there, and I'm sure you know what to do with it. Until next time, did you know I'm English? Cheerio.